So if you guys have seen the Military Arms channel review on this, or if you watch it after the fact, you'll see that his version has a crossblock safety, it has a weird pick rail up front, a whole bunch of things are completely different. I don't know why mine is different. However, I will say, one fact, is this was sold to me as a pistol, but legally it should have been sold to me as an AOW, and I have a part I have to destroy right away. Okay, breaking into the box, and again, this is my first real unboxing. I opened it in the store to verify a serial number and look at this part and go, what the hell, why are they giving me this? And this is going to be the first time actually cycling the action or doing anything cool with it. So, this is take two. I'm gonna leave that in there as well. So, this is the B&T TP9 US. Obviously, this has an AR style selector, safety, call it what you will. And you'll notice there is no pick rail spot down here. You see a pinhole and a screw hole. And you'll see this. Well, let me show you. There's your pin, there's your screw. And this is a foregrip, which by legal definition, me putting this on there, I'm not even going to touch the two parts together. I am destroying this. This would, in fact, make this an AOW. Naughty. Cannot have this. I don't know why this was sold with the weapon. I will say, however, this thing weighs about as much as a Surefire, and it feels very high quality, and it's a bummer that I have to get rid of it. But, you know, it is what it is. I do not plan on SBRing this. It's stupid that adding this thing changes the classification of a weapon. That right there is an infringement, you guys. So I'm going to set this aside because this shouldn't be a part of this review. I just want to let you guys know that this was included, and I don't know why. So this mag may look familiar, and it looks familiar because they share the same mags, which is awesome. These you can find from hkparts.net relatively inexpensively. Totally kidding, they're about 60 bucks a piece. That said, I bought a lot of them. Actually, I bought everything they had in stock, so if you're searching for them and you can't find them, I'm the reason why. So 30 round mag. They also make 20 round and 15 round mags. The 30 round mag sticks out a bit. Not ridiculously far, but the 20 round mag sits about, actually it sits right where the 30 round mark is, and the 15 round mag is flesh fitting. So I don't know why you would want a 15 round mag with this and have it be flesh fitting, because realistically, there's 17 plus 1. If you're going to get this, you should be running whatever you want, because it's your gun. But I'm getting this to run ridiculously high amounts of firepower. Because if you're buying a PDW 9mm, you might as well have a ton of rounds, right? And it would be cool if that was on there still. But again, I am a law-abiding citizen. Unless it comes to vehicles and the speed limit, I do my part to make sure that I don't add any bad names for the rest of us guys who actually follow the law, unlike those who are supposed to uphold the Constitution. But I digress. So, ambi mag release, there, and there. Works both ways, and I'm actually just going to take that out now. And charging handle. This will look familiar. Very AR-15-esque, and you can imagine that when this has a folding stock on it, or a telescopic stock like the one that's on the other one that I just showed you, which is probably going to end up being on here, just for fun at the range. You can imagine that this would be very easy to charge with this going on. So let's look at, actually let's, again, always verify clear. These are brand new guns, but do it anyways because you never know, and that's how accidents happen. Show you the trigger really quick. We have a trigger safety, very reminiscent of a Glock or any other gun with a trigger safety. However, this, like a FS2000 or a PS90, has a rear sliding trigger, which I actually really like, because a trigger press should be a press, not a pull or a sweep. I hate guns that feel like they hinge. So 1911, so on and so forth. I really like that trigger. That's kind of my favorite way of doing it. And if it's going to be a curved trigger or not an AR style trigger, this is how I'd prefer it to be. Squeeze back. Okay, we've hit a wall. Squeezing, 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 no creep at all. Click. I'm actually pretty impressed with this thing being mainly polymer. Straight back to the wall. Okay, so this actually has a really, really good feeling battle trigger. What else externally can I show you other than rail? To be honest, I wish this rail was on the other side because flashlight activation, that's where I do it. Here is your slide catch. Let's see if I can do it without punching my camera. Nailed it. This, by the way, is polymer. I don't foresee this breaking. You can flex the crap out of it and it's not going anywhere. So, that could be a ding for some of you guys. It doesn't bug me at all. And here's your release. Again, feeling that trigger, we are empty, and just because I like it. So, takedown looks very Glock-like. Pull down on this and watch the bolt as I do so. Okay. So from here, there's a sequence of, I think we push this thing in, there's a paddle up here. That didn't do anything. Again, I'm doing all this stuff for you guys for the first time, so if I look fumbly, it's because I haven't done it before. I've only seen other people do it. So, what could I be doing wrong? I don't think I am actually doing anything wrong, but so this is pushed in. And this is pushed in. Okay, so I'm starting to see things separating. Maybe I have to pull this down more. Nope, that's not it. Trying not to force anything because usually if you have to force something, you're going to break it. You're probably doing it wrong in the first place, but there we go. So it took a bit of force. That's all there was to it. As you push that rear pin, you push this forward thing, and there you go. So that lug interfaces with the barrel right there. Set that aside. We're going to look inside the weapon. A lot of grease. A lot of grease. So here's our hammer. And it is forward. So we can see how the trigger acts upon the sear to release the hammer. So anyways, very simple design, though very robust feeling, and again, this is basically all polymer, minus some select parts. And this is where that pin was interfacing. This is a steel trunnion in the rear. Move that aside, let's look at the upper. And there's our rear pin, which is actually just touching the recoil assembly. I'm going to assume here, and I hope I'm not assuming wrong, that this is just going to be a matter of wiggling. Okay, so it was just literally as simple as pushing down and pulling out. Okay, so there's our recoil assembly, or sorry, recoil spring. I'm just going to leave that in there. And this, again, is just a polymer cap. Very strong polymer. Not going to break on you. It doesn't feel like it, at least. So, yeah, there is your upper. And let's look at the barrel and bolt assembly. Okay, that's cool. So, huge amount of disconnect between locking and unlocking. So I'm going to imagine that when these are suppressed, they are suppressed extremely well. So here's the rear of our barrel. Very, very smooth, obviously, because this is going to be your feed lip. And that's pretty much it. It's really, really simple, but at the same time, a very, very slick, very smart design. I like it. It's definitely Swiss. And this part that I'm moving here, this is the barrel. You can see it moving in and out of this shroud, which takes a proprietary can, which kind of sucks. Maybe somebody out there makes an adapter. I really don't care too much about suppressing this, if I'm being completely honest. And then this is that forward tab thing that I was dealing with. And I'm going to guess... Nope, I have no idea. I'm not sure what this pin is, but whatever. Here's our notching, or I'm not actually even really sure what to call this, the lugs for our barrel to go through. Very huge, oversized extractor. Really, really chunky piece of material. A welcomed sight, because nobody likes having to source parts. And yeah, it's a very quality feeling part. This is honestly the bulk of all of your weight to the gun. So there's that. And then obviously these grooves, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be out or in, but I guess I'll find out. Interface with that. Okay. Okay, so that's crooked. Oh. So if you're putting this bolt back together, this took me a second to figure out, and you're trying to figure out the way that this would go back together correctly, where everything's lined up, because obviously that's not right. Then you would go to the next notch. That's not right. The correct way of doing it is have this completely extended, get it close to lined up, and then you pull your barrel back through, and now this can free rotate how it needs to fit. So holding the barrel back, now this can spin, and I'm going to hold it relatively aligned, and we're going to feed the bolt back into the upper. And that spring is just going into that cutout in the back, like so. Push everything together. Nope. Maybe? Maybe? Come on. Yep, just like that. Alright, so I'm going to do that again, just because I was overthinking it, making it look more difficult than it is. It's literally as simple as that. So, there you go. And let's see if I can figure out how to get this back together. So this pin interfaces with that. I'm going to start by putting this trunnion back together like that. And let's try just squeezing. And that's not going to work. So I just pushed in on that rear pin. And I'm going to push in on the front. And ta-da, it clicked back together. So you can see that our takedown pin is down and the bolt is forward. You can see the gap in the rear. So while holding everything together, I'm just going to use 2 fingers and it's locked back in place. Just, well, kind of like a Glock. Okay, we are good. Back in action. So this gun is obviously going to be a special purpose weapon, and I may actually qualify with this for work, for fun. This is kind of more of a novelty, and just being able to have pretty much all of the cooler of the B&T weapons that they have to offer is just cool to me as a collector. Not so much as a recovery agent or armed private investigator. This is just kind of the cool factor gun for me. I enjoy it. And really, that's all that matters. So, anyways, that is the B&T TP9 US. I have some parts to go chop up, unfortunately. That makes me really sad. But, is it worth it? Well, if you have a reason for it, sure. If you don't, probably not. But if you could see yourself actually carrying it for whatever you may need it for, or if you just enjoy it and you have the money to spend on it, by all means, I definitely think it's worth it. Obviously, I bought one myself. And these actually are $2,000. This with the brace was $2,000. So I'm going to say right off the bat, this is a much more substantial, higher quality weapon. This one's cool in its own right. This one's cool in its own right. And then if you go to what started it all, the B&T USW, you're looking at $2,500. So, again, it comes down to, is it worth it to you? Is it something that you're going to implement? If not, I would probably steer you towards a Mac. But that's just me. So on the other one, they give us a cleaning kit. On this one, it's exactly the same. You get, what the hell is this thing? This is a stamped piece of metal. Not sure what it's for. I'm just going to put it back in here. And I'll let you guys know in the description what that's for, if I figure it out. And if I don't, whatever. I mean, I did everything to the weapon I needed to as far as servicing goes, and I didn't have to use that. So, but anyways, they give you a nylon brush, a nylon toothbrush thing, a brass, and a cotton. So I actually used the other one that came with my USW. Yeah. So, cleaning kit. Hey. So that's going to conclude the 3-part saga. Hope you guys enjoyed. I am actually going to do shooting videos on each of these in a separate video. And this gun is actually going to be compared to all of my other 9mm pistol caliber carbines. And that is going to conclude this. So this is what it looks like with the forend on. And I just wanted to show you guys this as well. Here's your side folding stock, and that's what it looks like when it's all folded up. And we'll go through the manual really quick. Again, there's your folding stock. So this angled piece of metal is actually a magazine unloader. Weird. I want to look as cool as that guy. It's not going to happen. That is going to conclude it. Alright. See you guys.